because no na me who say before even the game no Ter Stegen be kasai na mama idea say whatever be the trouble that two teams in term no or more resolve the free on my way.
Yeah.
But as my person me cases in say and men can't Ter Stegen I know say on want to cry. But me catch a local place and we. Yeah, there's no way say we a footballer and now we a player. As an athlete, we to me club be a fight in our winning. Want me may win a man in ye. Then say want me may win and say there will be a particular junction of the conflict. That disagreement, you do junction be fans now OJ say come over back you know. Fans crona yo bojo switch every time no. Yeah, those fans na be sorry here. If it becomes a splitting point between war and a club no, fans never call club nechi. It hasn't happened. Some fans and say omo player be ne club nenya. Wo yo wa ya wo montem we be call we betena. Oh, why you say fringe rebuy? Yo, at the end fans never call type play club nechi. Ter Stegen ho nyansa be patch or so be it. But regardless of whatever he's done for Barca as a club and as a captain no me number by Barcelona wo. Number by Barcelona wo. So no be patron as also to us there. So be it. And to us but looking through the game no. Madrid chem say Rashford ya onke kan ho kakra.
Chance no say no die.
Onke kan ho kakra. Chance no die ya ebeba we kro no botto twene no kire betimi asa about the same thing dia to atwene. But my whole problem with players and now weekend dia na me ka bi di kire obi ni say whenever you miss a chance no what say na we the obey your body demeanor no ebe kire say we a weak player now we weak was say pass no can sorry no can patch look at this chance. First of all he had a way to dribble out to find a space so between the ball na to how to bury it now yo Akomeah Kasem bi enti abametrim men kan Rashford ye ne bebre na me come next topic ne so Rashford ese ball no na me ne Akomeah di nkomo no pese o se ball no na me pese Rafinha de ne se begunity o se Rafinha de ne se gunity
yeah
ni nyina na me pe kra Rafinha de ne se gunity na me pe na Akomeah remind me say oh so share Rashford ne career nyina no apart from Manchester United as a club no on pien ko baby ko ball club so at the Manchester or a Manchester so onyan drew sa stage ni bi. Two almost club now I bought to say Manchester Aston Villa oh you big boys are obey na ka ho.
Yes
big boys so you want to everybody did their account but at the Barca no we are ya oba for big boys be 5 na Rashford crowd into the sana community o it do dressing room on one kasa onim say there are certain players are ahead of me in the pecking order. That same subject cannot be repeated or Manchester dressing room or Aston Villa dressing room. So Rashford he's come at the right time. We about to quality, we about to coach or then buy sporting director de coach ni tum say obeba be adwuma de man club president ababo ntia be kasa say back player no or enough quality to play for Barcelona. Or no one mu no. And I say yeah Otis look at Rafinha reaction when na make na enya kra. And I feel say Rashford aba on June to say aba. What say chance we are yaw we are same na we but the other your body 101.3 away from that yaw congratulations big one to Crystal Palace
manager na ya Juma
Oliver ya Juma pa who said before the game no metie mo me wakra no metie me kinamiki eka say pressure expectation be call Hugo Florian ne Kekes Mosso from Pom so and he was so right game no Shadrack may go Hugo go no share in close spaces under intense pressure in a final in a cup game and Hugo or 10 and hold this album no to net no come on capture the agent stance no soon says soon nyare ho soon says soon no yana agent for this it comes out of emotions watch this go Shadrack could check it to be now on shed how Hugo yen and son now oh share Liverpool I'm gonna share just Calabria say Melco off white or cream yes and one and a Palace esho tradition just but open two attackers for Liverpool I Salah and also the two furthest of Liverpool attack no more attack pa Hugo and a Salah now by position they catch them and say at some point say Isaac Ama Hugo bet me a box on homo on conchain ho said e bia na expect say Isaac Baba cut up no but on play na shade on na dey satene ho call for ball no so Shadrack can release watch him now watch him also pointing
stretching and
pointing to the space now getting the ball hold on here
me
before the lay ball no in the midst of 3 players and or dash a ball in the back you know what is actually view the point I'm trying to put across here and say 1 calling for the ball 2 look at this angle now cheat na cheat maybe a goalkeeper no if you think this doesn't matter hold on until so be say ball na wie
okay
go not turn it you know na share you but he made sure say the build up to the goal no were a part of it we are making ho asem no not all strikers anything yes adwuma no me free box room aba out aba ye part of the scheme say the ball be box room mama she that is Hugo Ekitike on say ojebo no we close space and also lay ball on the back and sana ojeni panentem e call for she ba bi ojina free ball no Liverpool anto hu for to bad boy
Liverpool signing Hugo Ekitike no
to bad
like
boy.
To say ebia o sign a bad boy in football terms
yes oh say my catcher so when established my catcher so on bro Darwin Nunez so nyina ya up and coming young strikers the next gen of strikers or mobile and the Liverpool pressure not there and me and Maya who the best of Darwin Nunez and Oko who go with Umama Mush ya who adwuma Maya and Wababa share Liverpool colors the extreme pressure all of that she born all the two net you know now yeah imagine them say Liverpool score more but they also concede on say Klopp or both clean sheet na e hadwene kakra Klopp Pep Guardiola montanya clean sheet they score you 4 no ashe 1 they score you 3 no ashe 1 sana ebeye under any slot
okay
because from Pona Muna who is a right back you know or to opponent in the chrome ho Milos Kekes or to serve best in style of play no so adwane opponent you know and me and the slot here they be well mu Oliver Glasner well mu no well because well mu no a well man who Antonio so Liverpool formation o checking ye na why the ball 6
that's what they in a buy Sobos like
Curtis Jones in Sobos like on try Saturday against Man City on try against Chelsea on try against Arsenal Curtis Jones Sobos like
so last season so now Jones no ball as an maybe our ball Raffenbeck and Curtis Jones
yeah Raffenbeck is a typical 6
okay
it's an the person tries to almost 6 against Palace
okay
men kind of disrespect but who is some more Ubabo atia Chelsea ni Man City mo buy for no almost 6 so no almost 6 getting season natural 6 some like crowd or so advance so now the system not converting into a typical 4-2-4 what the vet become one you have 4 attackers 2 midfielders 2 near one Soboslai and a Curtis Jones none of them is a better tackler oh boy the tier Man City Arsenal more none of them is a better tackler off the ball but so be it or they try Niema and TM Fanisa. Watch this lineup. Would you try this Soboslai and then Curtis Jones deep part of the field against Man City? No, you dare not. Honestly, you dare not. But congrats to Crystal Palace. 2 titles and a match free. Man City and Liverpool. Oh, Mama Baswadi and Abebo Masubim. Attack of Ellen Haaland. Omama Mush. Doku, Savino, Salah, Hugo Ekitike, Flanvet. They've stood still and won the 2 trophies. Ayabasobodi and Amdema Palace. And Kokobo, especially defensively, and Amdema Liverpool for Chelsea. Aya dear pa. Now I'm sure Chelsea a team no yaw. More problem kakra. More problem kakra. Enzo Asabanechi.
Run to me.
Enzo Asabanechi. So anytime the formation converts to a double pivot, that is 1 and 2, you are trying to talk about double pivot between Enzo and then Casedo. Because it happens to be one of the best 3. Oh, yes, we double pivot. A 4-2-3-1, 4-2-3-1, 4. Start double pivot. No, oh, 2-2-2-2-4. No, and yet you convert it into a 4-3-3. You be American. Oh, share Pedri, Frankie De Jong, or more. So I share Kimmich, Pavlovich last year. No, so And then Obasha Enzo Caicedo omienu so ho. But yaw Enzo Caicedo mienu no e wo soro pa. Technically Pedri Frankie ebenya shout out. But you Pedri Frankie didn't see Jaya. These two guys can fight. But the problem I have, Kakrane say, players are more in the final third. You know your pet. Even Brubiso, Jamaica Gettins, Pedro Neto, João Pedro, Kopama, Dilap, Jackson, and Kuku Nkoy Medinaka home. 7 attackers sitting about but the Esteval become 8. Yow, how many stand out? How many proving? Me stand out on your quality and your talent. Because I know the chance for me Esteval was in China because when born or me João Pedro, me cause proving. My key word here.
Why yam
mo? Why na ye amobi hono? And untino there are rooms in the final third to be fought for. With about 7-8 attackers in a typical 4-3-3. Me and Sabe na wuyi no. E de agina o midfielders me enu ana me ensa anim. Me de enka obusamia. Meboko Kopama number 1. Me 3 attackers.
Okay.
Nam the João Pedro for the effectiveness outside the box and brilliance in it. Oh, go on now, didn't share no. Now can't go so outside the box. This is a striker bonting obey Jumana the amount. Inside the box, he serves as a fox. It will be João Pedro account. Now so no, in my opinion, between Dilap, Jackson and Kuku, je be Gettins can Esteval, yo, maybe back penny floor, and then a Macano. But João Pedro and then Kopama there. Omumi no baby. But do me be so no. Somebody Dilap ba be so a. It means João be konchen ho. Na Dilap aba box no. But between Dilap and then João Pedro is effective in shooting. As in Dilap. Besides Dilap won't be monchen ho.
Say ne say wo fa no to say double pivot no dia double pivot that is Caicedo and Enzo. It means attack now say 4. No, left 10 left Palma there. Left Palma there. 10 be there's a Palma ni jran. 10 be it is any a cat 3 out of so on the left.
But hold on. Hold on. Somebody Palma ba midfielder. Goals no so te. Threat no so te box no.
Set 10 now no bona there free row.
Okay, so you're treating as attacking. Then we are talking about 4 attackers.
Yeah.
4 attackers in the DR. I'll be going for Neto. Palma, João Pedro,
Gettins no.
Gettins or Sivao, minya yibako.
Okay.
But Chelsea for now decided. In my opinion, every team so on crabbe bre o ni mo ma ya emwa. O on crabbe bre e o ni mo ha emwa. Unim say as at now Pep Guardiola on just Savino need dokundi so obe start to na boom. And how to make can I say? It is why he went in for Ryan Sheki and then Mamouche mo. They add goals apart from Kukru no by your ball no so they add a lot of goals. Sahalana and Shegua. In the final third, when you want to be extremely potent, yeah, then young crabbe brisa. But away from that, Carlos Baleba is the next Michael Essien, Moussa Dembele, Jaja Toure, Paul Pogba of the Premiership. Carlos Baleba. Me Sharak Mama Shane Kakrebi me fancy and then Babusa Meza say I do need a boy na Meza say Charlie Nyanepe Meza no boko ntumi kra nyisu ye oh
now me say there is a journalist in France Nabil I'll look at it for you on a breaky Manchester United Euro a story no about the price abra even people were talking about so called Madrid no then none pay ya me they cannot Newton at so also or bet on it team or there was also a bet on it say Baleba will leave one more United team will leave Brighton for not less than 130 million euros and that discussion no is going on behind the scenes. The issue is one Man United team.
I understand.
But see the discussion is going on behind the scenes. Say 130 million
because last week me say almost say boy in the
most expensive African player.
So boy in the I was say a yet to say Caicedo di ni bi anase betra no.
And the issue will be like Enzo
for Baba Monson
that's why I say it.
Mu hia nipa no. Unze me pe. Ene me hia. So wo hia de ade means and Brighton for us own way of negotiation.
I think we would have time for Brighton way of staying as a club. But yeah, Carlos Baleba, Oh, say player me respecting we say especially midfield. I me respecting the player on and off the ball. Obi odi 2 ni abema. Baleba body kra obabeje. But the kra no you no, enti me ball po on say obi age ball easily free po ba ho. Yeah, Turemo.
Tottenham Dembele.
That guy, no. He's one of the most underrated players. I'm who Carlos is effective in ball recovery, ball protection, and ball release. And you mama and son of Macano. Somebody cram me by Jeffrey Ho. A cram me ball home by. Let me jam to the rightful place. Carlos Baleba.
I tell you, me that say. Meza, Bray.
Yes, fancy ma yenche tifo. Na emise okoni de mu be din. For Carlos Baleba, it gives me vibes around Chelsea and Enzo deal, no, rather than even Chelsea and Caicedo deal. No. On say Caicedo deal, no, na Brighton and Hove Albion are really aggressive to sell. Omo baby omujina because no more omo kofa Carlos Baleba de naba. Is over Kai Kromo signing Carlos Baleba. Kra Sakrampo no mu initiate Caicedo deal. No. The mark Caicedo deal any chair any say Liverpool deal omo hu ebe batel mu no. And Brighton felt say we could maximize the car. Yebenya because competition na yeden aba. But the Inter America say Baleba de ni be say Enzo de ni say Benfica was not ready to sell. So be kaya January no. Na Benfica nye na adwen so be ton Enzo Fernandez. Eti okay Rui Costa yirimu ye interviews. Almost ye na Chelsea agi na Rui Costa ko gina ba bi o se there bi. Ente sa. So he took the last minute part of the transfer window in January. Obeka na topa. Asana Enzo Fernandez 120 million euros no. Omo confirm say waja ho. So I feel the Baleba issue is going to be like that. Brighton is selling club. So Brighton and Tom Baleba even summer will cry, even January or next summer Baleba beko. Omo is selling club. When they know themselves in the food chain and they deal with it accordingly. It been a Newcastle problem. Newcastle are failing to recognize their position in the food chain.
Some free hole. Castle free hole.
On free hole. They are failing to recognize themselves in the food chain. Because if you are not careful. Brighton now who said you need boot here. And I want you know. On him say league ne je no. On timi je. Bi baba kra na beba mu out of the blue moon to sell Leicester mu de ni bi. Ama Europe no ba ko bobi. Europe no ko bobi a on him say on timi je but one out of the blue moon nyoma betimi esi ama na timi ayedai. Agibi oje a fine. But realistically no matter ase hunu say in the food chain no mo ba be the suppliers the amount teams dey England no. To ko fo ne ba low. No a ne high. No be turn high. Now they call now so they are running the club. No, they are running the club. Now Brighton and Hove Albion on a what they say cry Paul Baba no where gambler ankasa wo ono omo ko casino ni be where gambler ankasa
ska ko bona chacha
nti ono he o kasa ono ne bot 3D chess na so wa oni mo bi ono wato ono ne babo be yere so but for 130 million euros I think for the first time United will have to break the bank the 100 million pound you know. And in the history of the Premier League, I'm here to see Brighton and Hove Albion sell a midfielder to a different club and play an aqua floppy. Okay. From Bissouma to Caicedo to McAllister. She. And we were to be 2023. Emre Pemuno, Mabe Yachro. That time, na Baleba boli. Ana me come make is at wait and say. Na Brighton and Hove Albion akon. Ana me say Brighton no have a player ya o mo fai die. Me nyabotre hwe no about 21 games pen e dia malio. Me habo ani di that time kana Paris Saint-Germain so permit for that. No mu nya sign e o mo ma sign da no. And no musa ko Baleba on. Asa that time na Baleba ya 20 million euros. Yate so mo ya 15. But PSG and fan Brighton yes smart. No more for the buy. No, I'm saying it once again. This is a player that is more room than an immunity. He has not been able to accomplish half of what Caicedo is saying.
Well, Adolfo Nana Kwame Edward Jr. say Talking about Carlos Baleba, pay close attention to Adam Walton of Crystal Palace. Far better than Baleba. United need a player than Walton.
No, United here Baleba chain what bebre. Let's not even go there. Michael Brem.
In ceremonial profile. Or the message no send here no. Adam Walton, the profile no. He's a midfielder that is effective when the ball is at his feet.
Okay.
Baleba there no a combination of both. Baleba can play, but again, the work rate, the energy, the athleticism it is unmatched. So I appreciate Adam Walton's talent. Beautiful. Adam Walton here, the typical English midfielder who plays like a Spaniard. Adrian done it no ball ne bono ni more. What they check assess no the man Ismail Assar mom what they take on against Liverpool. But a Juma the Adam Walton ni me pacho. Indeed, the message is sending. Say profile now United piano.
Walton
say United midfield no profile no piano. Omu hi obi kitabo abo en be Bruno Ejuma. Think omo pe obi abe replace Bruno there, then Walton will be under consideration.
Okay.
But omo pe an athletic workaholic type of a midfielder to complement Bruno in a double pivot system. Into Orani message, he is speaking to the wrong profile.
Okay, I agree. Asama na mebeka na Mike kan.
Gattuso, ene Xabi. Oh yes, our comparison now. What I dream.
And what na meba no because me share a yidia what in the like Michael Carrick. Typical Michael Carrick. But I didn't United here and say, "Na me new team discuss. You new team busa me question, but ono kwa mo aso ba o musai." O say say mo double pivot ni be hwan Bruno be bo here. Because ohe Mbeumo a nothing looks like Mbeumo be ko bench.
71 million pounds.
What you say? Ohe Matheus Cunha, nothing looks like Cunha be ko bench. And the United the Pierre Rasmus Hojlund in the free team ni mako. Meaning Benjamin Sesko never be starter number 9. Ama Diallo no kra no ntimi mo oni Mbeumo ni nchembo so ono no bebo right wing back no. This say bia Dalot Sase a then game ni movie on e bia Amada ba be substitute Mbeumo was a game ne yedey ekoso. But Bruno ne dia wontimi mention so free team nim. Se wontimi mention dia adam so de ne ba 8. O de ne ba 8 so a new teammates and reference bi we try say Bruno dia onye discipline out of possession o. Yet you want to come and hear no. And I make a chance say you need a profile like Baleba. I don't know be running all over the pitch tackle yes sir. Include to human in the man. And yes sir, whoever you partner in that particular midfield, say ni pa kone pebo on bo chance say the obe tackle and obe adwuma. Man United midfield ne be break it bia. And come on me would this say no. Kobe Menu, Ugarte, Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes. We mun have 4 Manchester United midfield starters. Se ka say omo se ne double pivot na fancy omo nyina obi no betima ya adwuma na Carlos Baleba de be ma no
na se Ugarte ne dem say wontimi true level no
eka ye be right now
eka be no ya ye aboka
eka ade a eku Ugarte ne ye say yen komiri kan tackle no Ugarte betima ya san kunu tudwuma ne de ama wo. But what United wants to do in terms of building up in the first phase Ugarte ya bebre kohe Man United ne Everton game no. And the last game Man United, but I think it was against Bournemouth also Ofie, Old Trafford. Bibia says see, I'm not the same mistake. But Baleba no first phase build up, Newton Castle in the first touch or be protected ball no. And the first or be driving ball no. You need him in your first phase. You need him. You really need him in your first phase. That is why United is pushing him. But United and no summer way are. Fancy, trust you me. United will bear 30% of securing this boy either in January or even the next summer. So United and me and fan Sambre ya. Summer no go for be ba ho no. Madrid crab team ba ho. United will bear 30% chance of securing this guy next summer.
So what raise a very important because a Basana obe torn between Madrid
Obi Beba because Samuel United were in the better position of bidding for him and going in for him. But trying back. Madrid could even decide so be for Ebia. I'm not saying Enzo will move to Madrid. In certain cases, Madrid can decide say Enzo, we'll go in for Enzo. Oma for Enzo. Chelsea can decide to come in for Baleba. And now Chelsea bet ton Lavia. And decide say okay, mami ko for Baleba and Fanemra. Chelsea will scan all the bit ma Fanaba. Liverpool can also decide say Gravenberch e bredo. Ono kwan e 6.
Yeah.
Ye bet ye pese ko for Baleba de neba. Liverpool will scan so bet ma Fane de naba.
What to me?
City akotetare ho kakra. Now Rodri injury situation no. City ebia sisi am pempen am no woka say no. City wouldn't need Baleba. But you know some no. Obetima ka say oh let me move on Rodri.
Maybe after the ACL.
After the ACL so ye let me move on Rodri. We ko fa Baleba de na.
Liverpool cry my Liverpool for Baleba pen on.
What you say?
Liverpool for Baleba nya check akra. Yeah.
Market dynamics in the best. And United are the front runners, but the best is market dynamics.
So United and Yano, and Yani say dia bet 30%. Quickly, I think say me come about Garnacho issue no to Chelsea. Now somebody asked me a question say Garnacho ne getting one a yard. No credit yam say yeah the statistics ne tun se ne ni de omumi no statistics ne to on ma pede me de mani akwa ko hu no me forward de ama Shadrack here getting wani mu osoro Garnacho. But I think the reason why Chelsea are so much bent on getting Garnacho in this setup is to provide one competition, and number two, Garnacho with the Premier League experience say wabo Premier League ni be chen getting, he knows when to step, and he can big games are. To be very honest with you, Garnacho has always showed up in the big games at United against Chelsea, against Liverpool, cross be against Arsenal. He's always going to be there, and or the charisma and the ego to prove himself at that top level. Maybe the reason why Chelsea because it's almost getting technically better than Garnacho.